The military's recent address to high-ranking officials has sparked intense debate among veterans, with many questioning its impact on morale and fairness. Veteran Naveed Shah, who served as an enlisted public affairs specialist, found himself grappling with the implications of Hegseth's speech, which critics argue could undermine the trust of seasoned soldiers. "A lot of the words that are coming to me aren't fit to print," Shah, policy director for Common Defense, a veterans advocacy organization, said. "The people in that room who have served for 20, 30-plus years in uniform do not need Pete Hegseth to tell them about warrior ethos." Hegseth's hour-long TED Talk-style address, focusing on physical fitness, lethality, and DEI, drew more attention than a policy memo might have, and perhaps more than Donald Trump's rambling, politically charged hour-long speech that followed. But the attention came at the cost of respect, said retired Army General Dana Pittard, co-author of Hunting the Caliphate and former commander in Iraq. "I thought it was insulting," Pittard said, rejecting Hegseth's assertion that senior officers of color, like himself, had benefited from a non-existent quota system for promotions. Online chatter ahead of the unprecedented, secrecy-shrouded meeting of 800 generals and admirals at Marine Corps Base Quantico in Virginia revolved around demands for loyalty oaths, public firings, or a declaration of war. Some described the event as karmic revenge for decades of mandatory safety briefings that dismissed troops for the weekend. Others wondered if the security challenge was merely an email. Addressing the troops could be useful or beneficial, but to call 800-plus generals and senior enlisted advisors from around the world into this room just before a government shutdown. "It's not just bad optics or strategy," Shah said. "A bad cold could have threatened our entire chain of command." Pittard acknowledged the Defense Secretary's authority to convene such a meeting, but called it egotistical and a waste of resources. Trump's subsequent comments, which referenced Biden and the enemy within, were seen as a dangerous slippery slope, he warned. He talked about the previous commander-in-chief, President Biden, and then talked about the enemy within. "That's a dangerous slippery slope, to be referring to leaders of the U.S. military," Pittard added. Hegseth's discussion of physical fitness standards for women in combat roles met a more nuanced response, particularly from women who had served. Hegseth claimed women in combat roles would need to meet the same fitness standards as men, including tasks like carrying heavy gear. "If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is," he said. Sally Roberts, an Afghanistan war veteran and Team USA world medalist in women's wrestling, founded Wrestle Like a Girl, which advocates for women's wrestling opportunities. "I was held back because I didn't fit the right idea of who they wanted for those particular units or groups, and I feel like this has the opportunity to actually level the playing field for those high-performing, high-achieving individuals that want to succeed but have barriers to entry." Retired Navy fighter pilot Amy McGrath criticized Hegseth's comments, calling them disparaging. He claimed the military needs to return to the male standard in combat jobs of 1990. "But here's the truth. There has never been a separate male and female standard," she wrote on Instagram. "When women entered combat roles, one standard was set, and we've been meeting it ever since. You can either do the job or you can't." Period. Tamara Stevens, a former Navy cryptological technician, found Hegseth's discussion of lethality more alarming than anything else, given the context of Trump's later comments about using deployments to American cities as a training ground. "Basically, he's saying we're no better than Hamas because people are joining because they want to break things and kill people," she said. "I mean, for anyone that's been in the military, he's not qualified to be Secretary of Defense. He's barely qualified to be a host on Fox News. But so say these things in front of preeminent generals and admirals leading our military? Has he no honor to say that we don't belong in polite society? Maybe he doesn't.